on autopilot. Like it's like some are autopilot, some are consciously did action. But if I never thought about my experiences, my my how can I say that? Anyway, so never thought about it, I wouldn't know that you cannot change someone who doesn't want to change. I don't want to change. If they try to change me, I wouldn't change at all, even if I understand their perspective or whatever it is. And also it's not just you gotta think in a way that is in a way that you are the one who is giving the advice, and also you are the one who got the advice. Alright, I am telling you my story as a person who got the advice and opinion. Alright, and what I'm trying, so I understand because how they can change is because oh my god, they can't change me because I don't want to change. Alright, that's how I know you can't change someone who doesn't want to change. And I have tried to change someone as well, their perspective when they, especially is because their actions are not aligned with my moral, my needs. Alright, it's like we want to change someone because they are not the way we want them to be. Alright, like I wrote it in here. It's like, I think you can understand, for example, like there was this one person, right? I want to change them because they have different opinion about something than myself. I would like argue, how my perspective, and they wouldn't see it. Okay, hold on a second. Sorry guys. Where were we? I don't remember. Alright, let's move on. I want to tell you, like, this conversation that I have with my father. It was one of the conversation that click this this change thing. Alright, like how we cannot control someone's decision, can't control it. Alright, it was about real estate. So I was trying to make it simpler. I hope it is more simple. Is that even how we say it? More simple? Is that even correct? I don't know. Let's just say there's this land that is listed as $1 million. Alright, there will be an owner and the buyer. Alright, so the land is 1 million, and the buyer just want to give 950. So they set their mind at 950. Alright, 950 grand. Alright, but the seller, the owner, want at least 980, 980, 990 for the land. So they were trying to like do the marketing. Alright, let's just see. Like, oh, you couldn't get this acres of land with just $1 million. Alright, or like, I don't know, like they would start to say like how good the land is for this price. and the buyer would argue with, like, the flaws of the land, or a way to persuade the owner to sell them with this amount of money. So if the owner really want to sell the land, no, that's not like that. Okay, so if the buyer really want that land, they would try to negotiate. If the buyer didn't want to pay that amount of money or that land at all with that price, the negotiation part wouldn't be there, right? So okay, if the buyer want the land very bad, so they will negotiate with the owner. Like, they will find the middle ground, like 975 or something, and deal the land is sold. All right. So how I understand this with my thinking of all the change in choices and the control. Oh, I forgot that important part. What my father say is that whether you are a buyer or the seller, let's just say if you are the seller, no matter what's the price the buyer give, if you don't want to sell it, you don't have to, because it's the owner job to sell the land. So if they don't want to sell it, they don't have to. It's their decision, all right? The buyer cannot force it. And if you are the buyer, no matter what the price the owner is, asking you to pay, if you don't want to pay that amount of money, you don't have to. That is your decision. That is your choice. All right? That is the main lesson my father trying to give. Whether you are the buyer or the seller. So that how now I will tell you how I understand, how I connect the perspective of change and choices and that conversation. Okay, so let's just say the seller is the one who is trying to change someone, all right, and the buyer is the one who got asked to change. So let's think of this way. The seller, let's just say it's you, right? You want to change the buyer, person B, to stop smoking. You want them to stop smoking. So you would do your marketing. You would do the marketing by telling how bad it is for their health, or for their skin. And the one who's smoking, the one you trying to change, might argue bad with like, oh, they don't smoke a lot that much, or like they have to think, they smoke because they have to think. That is excuse my dad give to us, to my family, if he asks him to smoke a little lesser. So all right, and about the deal, if that person you trying to change, if the person you trying to not smoke a lot doesn't want to stop at all, there is no way you're going to get to the negotiation part. All right, you cannot change him at all. But what you can do, if is you can tell that the bad thing, you can put this sense in their head a little, like my brother would tell me, told me about, I don't need those quality to start this all right? I didn't understand it at the time, but it took me years to be, sitting right here telling you my story, all right? Okay, where were we? Right, the negotiation part. If the person really want to change, if they like maybe stop smoking in the future, we can negotiate, right? Like, maybe like stop smoking. Not like immediately start smoking immediately, but we can start with like smoking just one cigarette per day, or like a one pack per week, or whatever it is. So that is the story. That is how I understand it, because you cannot change them if they don't want to change in the first place, but you can negotiate if they maybe want to change in the near future, or I don't know, in their own pace. Like, there is one thing that always came to my mind is like everyone is on their different journey. Like I said, it took me years to understand my brother advice, and it happened on my own. Like, I didn't even remember when my brother advised when I started this, but when I like reflect on my life, when I trying to like do the things like shadow work, or like trying to like be on my own thought, those conversations came back to me, and yeah, that is how I see the pattern of this change and things, because we gotta reflect on our own life in order for us to see some of the pattern that is happening in our life. Like what I want to say. There's a lot of things I want to say, but it didn't come out. And also, if the person you want to change for their good, if they don't want to change, all we can do it just let it go. We can do it, just let it go. We can't do anything about it if they don't want to change it. We try our best. What we can do is like improve ourselves. Maybe we can be the inspiration for them to change. I'm not like saying this as the perspective of the one who is like trying to change someone, but you can like think of it as the person who someone is trying to, if someone is trying to change you can see the pattern in it, because if we don't like think from both perspectives, we couldn't be able to see this pattern happening in our life. We cannot see it clearly. I hope you understand it. Because our minds and action are like happening on autopilot most of the time. Even if we know this is the I know this is the common sense, but if we just let it happen, if this is happening again, we wouldn't be able to tell.